everyone. So we're going to be working today on everything to do with families within Christianity and what family means and the importance of it. So if I get this up and running, there we are. So, okay, we have got in front of us the importance of family is today's title. Our starter is, why is family important? What does family mean to you? To all of us, we would have an individual view about that, okay? So, today's learning objectives are to describe 5 different types of family and explain different Christian responses to different types of family, and then to give Christian teachings about the purpose and importance. Okay, so that's our key message today. We want to know why family is important to Christians and about the different types. There are quite a few key words, so make sure that we're paying attention. Okay, task number 1. We have got on the PowerPoint all different types of families. So extended, same-sex, nuclear, single parent, and blended. So I'm going to go through what they kind of mean. Then you will match them up and I'll go through the answers in a minute. So extended family. An extended family is when you have more than one generation living in the home. So if you live in a situation where you have your parents and then you have your grandparents as well, then in which case you are living in an extended family. Same-sex family means that you have got 2 parents of the same gender. So either you have 2 mums or 2 dads. Okay, that's what a same-sex family is. Now, nuclear family, this tends to be the most common type of family, but not always and not in all societies. This is where you have mum, dad, and you and your siblings, or just you, and you are all living in a close family unit, okay? Single parent family means that you might be living with just one of your parents. Now that could be because your parents never got married, or it might be that you only live with one of your parents because they have either separated or divorced or something like that. So you only live with one of them. And then a blended family, and this is where if you have any step siblings or you've got a stepmom or stepdad in your living situation, then you are living in a blended family. It is when everybody kind of comes together and merges into one, okay? So going through the mix and match then, here are some of the correct definitions. So 2 parents who may be married or unmarried and their children living together. So this one will be a nuclear family. 2 same-sex parents and their children who may be biologically related to either of the parents. So this is same-sex family. And why that says biologically related, and that's really to do with the fact that obviously same-sex couples, they can't reproduce on their own, they can't procreate on their own. So there may have been IVF treatment, or an adoption might have taken place, or even if just one of the parents has conceived a child, then that might be a situation, maybe through a surrogate or something like that. Parents, children, and other relations such as grandparents, aunts, and cousins living close together. That's an extended family when everybody kind of joins together through different generations. One parent living alone with their children, maybe due to divorce, separation, or death. So this could be a single parent family. And then parents living together with their children that have one or both of them have been in previous relationships. So if you are, say, living with anyone where you would use the term stepmom, stepdad, step-sibling, then that would be a blended family. Okay, nice and easy. So this clip, do be careful when you click on it, okay? It does have some stuff to do with death, and I don't want anybody to get upset. So if you're feeling worried about it, please don't. It's a poem, or rather like a song that's been written by somebody, and it's to do with the importance of his mum after she passed away. So that's what the content is. So be cautious when you're going ahead and watching that. And then I want you to think about, what is the purpose of family? So I want you to mind map some ideas. Why is family important? What do they do? Why are they offered? Why are we not just all like left to our own devices and go out into the world? It tends to probably be that they are teaching us something of great importance. So that they are offering for us often emotional support. They're giving you guidance and love. If you're concerned about something or you're worried and you might be wanting some advice, then obviously having a parent or a family there, or another family member who you know is not going to have any judgment, then that's their purpose. That's what they're there for. Care. So this means that they can look after the sick, elderly, young. Obviously, we all know we are better off together, okay, especially during what's going on at the moment. Okay, if you're living with your family or your parents or your carers, then of course you're all living together in one unit, caring for one another, keeping each other happy, hopefully. Teaching. This means families teach you how to behave. So if you ever watch any animals living in a group, you'll see they're always learning things from each other. And often they are behaviors. So, for instance, I know that obviously if you have siblings, that you learn when you're playing with them. So if you played with them when you were younger and things like that, and maybe got a little bit rough and you knocked into them or bumped them or hit them a bit too hard, then basically what would have happened is either a parent or the sibling might have told you off and said that it's not acceptable, and that's how we learn behaviour. And the really good key word to use here, guys, is socialisation, and it's how we're taught through what we're doing, through socialising with other people, how to behave. So we learn what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, so that when we reach school, that we already know what boundaries are in place. We know that it's not okay just to go up to somebody and either hit them or kick them or whatever it is. Okay, and those boundaries are there because your family usually are the ones that teach you, especially during those 0 to 5 years. Main socialization kind of takes place then. Shelter. This means that families provide a home. So obviously, if you are a baby, you don't have a job or a means of earning money, and therefore your family or your parents or your carer or whoever it is who's looking after you, they are offering you that because they should hopefully be in a position where they can do that for you. So these are the main kind of ideas that are behind the purposes of family. If you have a little look at the clip, it goes through what family means for Christians. It tends to mean the teachings that it's about raising somebody in a Christian household, teaching them the meaning of being a Christian, because everybody needs to be saved. If you're a Christian, they want you to go to heaven, so you need to behave in a Christian way. Okay. So on here, what is the purpose of family for Christians? So the Bible teaches that family is very important for the following reasons. Now, here is another keyword. So we've had socialization as our keyword. We've had all of the different family types as our keywords. And now is another one, procreation. So we're learning all of our AO1 skills here. We should be dropping these all the time throughout your exams. We should be seeing these keywords, okay? So procreation is to have sex and produce children. So one of the main purposes of family is in order for couples, or married couples rather, to be able to create and produce children. So couples are a gift from God, and parents must look after them properly. And that's really important because without the family unit, Christians believe it's a lot harder to do this. So it's, God wants you to create a family and to love one another and care for one another. We know this. Love thy neighbour, treat others how you wish to be treated. It's about being caring and loving as Jesus taught. Family teaches you how to form relationships. So what I was talking about was socialization, teaches you how to behave, how to act towards others. If you're kind towards others, people are often hopefully kind towards you in return. And also how to live and to worship God by raising Christian children. So it teaches you how to form relationships. That relationship can also be with God, the way that you pray, the way that you worship, the way that you connect to God. Forms a relationship between a Christian and God, which is one of the aims. It promotes God's plan as shown through Adam and Eve. So one of the main things that they're asked to do through stewardship is to be fruitful and multiply. Their aim is to populate the world. So humans are there as part of being stewards and looking after creation. It's also to create it. One of the main things in the 10 Commandments, also known as the Decalogue, which you can use as a very fancy way of saying the 10 Commandments, you can say that it is to honour your mother and your father, or your father and your mother. And these are the sets of rules that were given to Moses when he helped the Israelites escape from Egypt. Stretch here. Which is the most important reason to Christians? Give a reason for your answer. This should contain AO1. So what I'm asking for here is, which reason do you think is the best Which is the most important? Why do you think that Christians value family? What is it about that? And which do you think is the strongest reason? You must give a reason. You have to say, well, I believe that it's procreation because I understand that the Bible teaches to be fruitful and multiply. So we can mix some of these together to really, make our point really solid, to show that we know everything that we need to know for our exam to gain the highest possible level and to hit your target grades. Okay. So on here, this is a research task for you to do. So I'm not going to go through this too much. I'm going to rather just let you guys explore this on your own. Task: research Action for Children and the Children's Society and answer the following. So I've got here the Children's Society and Action for Children, and both of them have got clips. You can go on there. Alternatively, you can just research these yourselves. I would suggest, if you want to go into detail, which I'm expecting, okay, especially if your target grades are way up there in the 7s and 8s, I would want you to be researching and using the clip for information. I need to know, how did the charity start? Why did the charity start? So what is the reason? Why was there a need for that charity to start? What are they doing that helps? So what does the charity do to help? And then finally, stretch. I want AO2 here. I want to know, what are the strengths of the charity? What is it that they're doing that is particularly fantastic? Why is that so good? Why do Christians support it? And both these charities, they are supported by Christians. So the Children's Society works with the Church of England to support vulnerable children. Okay, so part of the Anglican Church there. They are there to support vulnerable children. Action for Children works with the Methodist Church, so another denomination, helping families and children in care. So that is anybody who is looked after by somebody else. Okay, so I want you to do all of that research. I'm not going to talk through it too much. Ultimately, though, this is about caring for everybody as being part of a wider society. It's important that Christians understand that it's not just them, not just their home. It's about helping others. If we help others, we can be active in the world, and that's really important because actions really do make a difference to everybody. So that's why they help to support it, and especially with children who are very vulnerable. So we have here an exam technique, and what I want you to be trying to do is to outline 3 types of family. And I would just need really 3 basic sentences. I do not want to see bullet points. Bullet points will mean that you will get 0. I should see 3 full sentences. One type of family is blended. This is whatever it is. Another type of family is same sex. This is. Another type of family is nuclear family. This is. Okay, I want to see you outlining it. That's what the term outline means. Otherwise it would say bullet point. Next, explain 2 purposes of family. Okay, so I've got sentence starters there for you to use in order to achieve 4 marks. Make sure that you are separating your points out evenly. So what I don't really want to see is that you're explaining the same thing twice. Those are 2 completely different reasons as to what the purpose of family is. That's really important, guys. So otherwise, what will happen is, it sounds the same and I can't award you 4 full marks, and I need it to be a different point. Okay. Divergent teachings about family. So your task will be to identify which family type each divergent view thinks are important, and then why they are important. So each one will go through, and then you will have to decide what family type they think is the important one and why that family type is important. There are going to be 4 pages. I'm going to run through them. I'm not going to tell you the answers. I'm just going to read what's on the slide. I might add a little bit. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is directly. I wouldn't have thought. Stretch. AO2. Which view do you think is the most convincing? So which view do you think tells you exactly what it is that is really, really important, and why would anybody agree with them? What is it that makes that a really good point of view? And this will be different depending on each one. So let's go through a little bit. Okay, so Church of England. Okay, this is what they say. The family remains the most important grouping of human beings. Children thrive, grow, and develop within the love and safeguarding of a family. They care for the young and for the old. So I really want you to be thinking about which family category does that fit into. Do they agree with all of them? Do they agree with all family types? Do they just agree with some family types? I want you to have a real look through there, please. Okay. Catholics, there are absolutely no grounds for considering homosexual unions to be in any way similar or even remotely analogous to God's plan for marriage and the family. Okay, so let me break this down a little bit for you. So obviously, absolutely no grounds. That means there are no reasons for considering homosexual, so same-sex relationships, to be similar to God's plan. So God's plan is for humans to procreate, to be fruitful, and to multiply. So really, the Catholic Church here is saying that there is no reason that same-sex families can be classed as part of God's plan. So, which types of family do they therefore agree with? That's what you need to work out. And why do some people think that this is a really strong argument? Because there are 1 billion Catholics roughly in the world. So 1 billion people agree with this point of view, okay? And I know that can seem, quite shocking maybe in the 21st century, in the society that we live in the UK, but there are 1 billion people who agree with this. So what is it that convinces them? I want you to have a think about that. That's your AO2. Okay, evangelical. We uphold the biblical definition of marriage as the foundation of society and family life. So this basically means that the biblical definition of marriage is two people joined in front of God. Okay? So a man and a woman being joined together. We need to strive to have truly transgenerational worship with children, students, unmarried people, and grandparents. Okay, so this means that transgenerational means that you have lots of generations working together. All right, so what family type would they really support? Food banks, lone parent support, after school clubs are ways churches can adapt to the ministry of the community. So they're there to support all types of family, guys. That's what they're trying to do here. That's what it's saying, that they're helping through if a family is in any difficulty at all, if it is the fact that it's a single parent family, after school clubs, especially if you're a single parent family, it can be really difficult for the parent to juggle their work life and also raising children. So they're there to support as well with after school clubs, okay? All right, ministry here is referring to the mission, so the thing they're trying to do. So what is the church trying to do? Okay, and it's helping the community. That's what they're talking about. Okay, so on here we have got which type of family is the best. Non-religious viewpoint. Now, this one is from the British Humanist Association. So they are non-religious and they want to make sure that they are apart from any type of religion. So they believe that the family is any unit that is committed to sharing resources and mutual support that defines itself as such. The details of the family arrangements hardly matter. So this really means, guys, that they support everybody. They just think it doesn't matter, whatever situation you are in, and if you call yourself a family, then that's fine. You are a family. Okay, they're really open to the idea of being flexible and adaptable. Okay, so make sure that we have been writing things down as we've been going. Okay, well, the last thing, you've just got a bit of an opinion task that I want you to have a little look through. And this is really just up to you. So if you need to pause it and you want to have a little look through the questions, that's absolutely fine. So which type of family do you belong to? Which type of family do you think the Catholic Church prefers and why? Which type of family do you think the Church of England accepts and why? Which type of family do you think humanists accept and why? And then which family type do you think is the best? Because this one will be, along with your AO2, what is the impact of all of those things you have been saying? What are you going to put as your justified conclusion on a D question? Okay, so we should have been able to describe the 5 different types of family. So blended, same-sex, nuclear, single parent, and extended. You need to be talking about those all the time using those keywords. And then to give Christian teachings about the purpose of family. So what is it that they were saying and what they accept as well, the divergent views that they accept. Okay, that is more or less everything under the bracket of families. You're going to be seeing how the church supports the family in the next lesson. So you're going to see what they do as a parish, as a community, to support the family. Okay, guys, so I will catch you in the next one.